Hey Emma, have you ever heard about the history of nitrous oxide?
I know it's used as a party drug and for pain relief, but I don't know much about its history. Can you tell me?
Sure. Nitrous oxide was discovered in the 18th century and has had quite a journey since then. It started as a vaudeville gimmick, then became a pioneering anesthetic, and now it's also used as a party drug.
That's interesting. How did it go from a gimmick to an anesthetic?
It all began with Thomas Beddoes in 1799. He set up the Pneumatic Institution in Bristol to find gases that could cure diseases. He hired a young chemist named Humphrey Davy to carry out the research.
Did Davy discover nitrous oxide?
Yes, he did. When Davy inhaled nitrous oxide, he started dancing around his laboratory like a madman and laughing uncontrollably. He found it so delightful that he couldn't stop experimenting with it.
Yeah, so did they use it to cure diseases?
Not exactly. It didn't cure diseases like consumption, but Davy noticed that it could eliminate pain. However, the medical profession wasn't interested in it as an anesthetic at that time.
Why not?
Back then, surgery and dentistry were performed without anesthetics. Surgeons believed that pain was important for the success of surgery. They thought it was necessary to trigger the body's healing powers.
That sounds horrible. So when did nitrous oxide start being used as an anesthetic?
A dentist named Horace Wells attended a laughing gas show in 1844 and realized it could be used for pain relief during tooth extractions. He tried it on himself and felt very little pain.
Did it become popular after that?
Not immediately. Wells performed a public demonstration, but the patient let out a small cry during the procedure. The medical establishment dismissed it as a frivolous fairground trick and ridiculed Wells.
That's unfortunate. What happened next?
Another dentist, William Morton, used ether as an anesthetic in 1846. Ether became more widely accepted because it could make patients unconscious and insensitive to pain.
What about nitrous oxide?
It made a comeback in the late 19th century. A man named George Poe started mass manufacturing nitrous oxide in liquid form and sold it in canisters, making it easier to use in dental practices and hospitals.
That makes sense. So, nitrous oxide is still used today, right?
Yes, it's used in a mixture called gas and air for pain relief in hospitals, especially during childbirth. It's a milder painkiller compared to epidurals.
And people also use it as a recreational drug, don't they?
Yes, unfortunately. Young people buy nitrous oxide canisters online and use them to fill balloons, which they then inhale for a quick high. It's illegal in the UK, though.
I see. Thanks for the history lesson, Mark. I learned a lot.
You're welcome, Emma. It was fun sharing this with you. Let's keep practicing our English and learning new things.
That was really interesting, Mark. I didn't know nitrous oxide had such a long and varied history. Can you tell me more about how it works as an anesthetic?
Of course. When you inhale nitrous oxide, it affects your central nervous system. It makes you feel euphoric and reduces your perception of pain. That's why it's used during medical procedures.
How is it different from other anesthetics, like ether or chloroform?
Nitrous oxide is less potent, so it doesn't make you unconscious. It's used for pain relief rather than for putting you completely under. Ether and chloroform, on the other hand, are stronger and can make you unconscious, but they have more severe side effects.
I remember you mentioned that chloroform was phased out because it was too toxic. What about ether?
Ether was used for a long time because it's very effective, but it also has some risks like respiratory issues and flammability. It was eventually replaced by safer alternatives.
And nitrous oxide is still used because it's safer?
Yes, exactly. It's considered quite safe when used properly, which is why it's still popular for minor procedures in childbirth. It's easy to administer and has fewer side effects compared to other anesthetics.
That's good to know. So, what was your experience with it? Like when you dislocated your finger?
It was quite surreal. I took a few deep breaths, and suddenly I felt completely out of my mind. I even thought I was on a golf course looking for my ball. It made the pain disappear, and the doctor was able to put my finger back in place without me feeling it.
Okay, let's keep our conversation till here. We have talked enough. It was a nice talking to you. Hey, folks. You also comment down any topic of your choice for the podcast, and let's meet you in the next video.